Hello guys, this is Guy, the IT guy, and today we're going to talk about the Nikon D3400 digital SLR camera, attaching a microphone to it or some way to capture audio, mainly for video blogging. So let's get into the video. Now with the Nikon D3400, as many of you are all aware, and the reason why you searched out this video is that it does not have an external microphone jack on it. It only has the onboard microphone, which can be terrible at some times, especially for video blogging and if your room is extra echoey. Mainly because the microphone is on top of the camera body and it's pointing upwards, which that's not good for any kind of microphone quality, any kind of audio. The way I use mine, I just came up with this afternoon. That's why I'm making this video now. I was reading up and watching some other videos of other people trying to find workarounds to add a microphone to the Nikon D3400, and there was one YouTuber who used a remote lapel mic and then put the earphone over the speaker. Yeah, that worked, but he also had to buy a Zoom. Well, he already had a Zoom, but that's like a $300 device sometimes. I am using what's called an HDMI cloner box Evolve, and it's made by the Cloner Alliance. It runs about $125 on Amazon, but don't let that price point push you away, because you can also connect your microphone directly on board the capture box. It uses SD cards, and you can plug in, say, like a USB drive to it, or like I plugged in a little jump drive. It's a 16 gig jump drive. It's a Kangaroo Blue Mini. You'll see it in the pictures that I post up there, and that's what I use to capture my video feed onto. It'll capture at 1080, 720. I do believe it can go higher than 1080, but I don't have anything that pushes that high. But I can do 1080 at 60 frames per second. Right now I've got my camera set at 1080 at 24 frames per second, because I kind of like that kind of like film feel. But other than that, what I'm using to connect my Nikon D3400, which has no microphones, by the way, but you can hear me really nicely, is I am using HDMI cable, because on the Nikon D3400 there is a little USB port right next to an HDMI mini out, and I bought a cable for $6. It's made by Blue Rigger. You can find that on Amazon as well. I'll post a link to that in the description as well. This cable is about 10 feet long, and I plug it into the mini port on the Nikon, and then I plug it into HDMI port 1 on my video capture box. Now, on my video capture box, I'm also plugging my studio mic in. I have a boom mic. Well, not a boom mic. It's a studio mic. It's an XLR upright mic. I've got a picture of that as well. I'll post a link for that as well in the video. I paid $30 for it. And I forgot to grab this. This is the XLR piece that goes with it, because XLR needs power. As you can tell, I'm not using it, because I also found on eBay, and this is just part of my studio equipment that I use every day for my my YouTube videos, it's a PreSonus Tube Pre version 2, and this is actually a tube powered, or tube driven I should say. This is a tube driven microphone preamp, which I have my XLR microphone plugged into it. And then I have an XLR 2 1/8, which is basically a stereo headset jack, and that's plugging into the side of my HDMI cloner box. That's where my audio is being fed from. That way I have good quality audio. Now, for a prime example, for like taking pictures, like I do amateur photography as well. I also have purchased this. This is a mini HDMI. This is what I'm referring to. 2 regular size HDMI, and it's on a coil cord, so I can put a 10-inch monitor on and flip the monitor around, so that way when I'm taking pictures, you know, everybody else can see what's going on. Like the people that you're taking the picture, they can see that, good pictures are popping up. But you can also use one of these to plug in, but elasticity of the cord, it won't work very well. But this is the mini port. Of course, if you have a D3400, you already know of these. Not too many people know that the D3400 can do HDMI out. That's how I'm capturing right now. Sorry, I pointed to the projector screen. I've got my HDMI running out. It's going to my capture box, and that's capturing my video in my live feed. And then my boom mic is going to my preamp, and that's going right down to the capture box. So everything's being captured in real time at the same time. I don't have to synchronize any video. But if you want to use your phone to record audio and then synchronize it up to your video feed, you can do that as well. I find is just easier to do it like this. This is quick, and it's not like you won't use the capture box for anything else, because you can also plug anything into this capture box. I plugged in the SNES Classic. I plugged in Raspberry Pis. I've plugged in computers. I plugged in DVD players. Everything throws video feed to it. And if you plug in an external microphone, you instantly have an audio voiceover. So you can do like Mystery Science Theater 3000 type videos. I'll also include pictures of my setup, the way I have it plugged in. But as you can tell, with my setup, the way I have it running right now, is I'm capturing good quality 1080p video with good quality audio from my studio boom mic. It's just captured together. I don't have to assemble anything, and I like it like that. But I will leave a link to all of the equipment that I am using to do this at the moment, including a link to the Nikon D3400 that I got. I got it in a kit as well. But you can do this with any camera that has an HDMI mini port out that does not have a microphone jack out, which I was kind of disappointed that it was not there, but it's a good camera. Yeah, you can get the Nikon D3300. If you haven't bought your camera already, go with a 3300 or a 3500. If I remember right, the 3500 has an external jack on it as well. That's if you're going with Nikon. There's also another camera, if I remember right, is the Sony Q87. I think that doesn't have a microphone jack on it. But if you haven't bought your camera yet, I would go ahead and get a Nikon D3300. Yeah, it is just a little bit older model, but it does have the microphone jack, the external microphone jack on it. So that way you could plug your microphone directly into it, put like a little Rode boom mic on it, whatever you want. If you have the Nikon D3400 or any similar camera to it that does not have an external headphone jack, all your modern cameras from that, from that era, it's a 4-year-old camera, maybe it's 3, but all cameras from that era on up have mini HDMI out ports, and you can plug it right into a video capture box. If you already have a video cap, it doesn't even have to be the HDMI cloner. You could have a different type of video capture box. You maybe not have thought of doing it like that. Plug it right into your video capture box, plug your boom mic in, or your lapel mic, plug that in, and boom, you've got audio, synced up audio. You don't have to go and get software to sync it up. You don't have to hunt down for free software that's not virus ridden or has layered with ads. But this has been Guy the IT Guy, and this is how you solve the no microphone problem for the Nikon D3400 series camera. Go ahead and like if you like the video. Go ahead and hit the like button below. Leave a comment in the comment section. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe already and hit that notification bell so that way you are notified of future updates. And this has been the Nikon D3400 microphone solution. Thank you, and thank you for watching.